Hello, my name is Mark Pedersen. I am the author of Cannabis Restoration. If you're watching this, more than likely you too want to take an active part in seeing cannabis truly legalized. Petitioning most certainly is a vital part of making that happen. Petitioning isn't difficult, but it's absolutely vital that it's done correctly. There are some 26 states in the Union that can do some form of initiative or veto referendum. Only 16 of those states can do a constitutional amendment, a direct initiative. A direct initiative is particularly special in that with it, through the gathering of signatures from every district, you can bypass lawmakers, even the governor of a state, to put an issue on the general ballot. The ability to self-govern like this didn't come with the birth of our nation. In fact, for Missouri, the initiative process didn't come until 1907. It's been on shaky ground ever since. Apparently, lawmakers here in Missouri, as well as in Colorado, have been quite actively working to limit the right to initiative, and in recent years have made significant progress in eroding this freedom, largely due to activities to reform cannabis law. This is what Missouri's districts and their 114 counties actually looks like. As you can see, these districts are spread out across populated and sparsely populated areas. It's important for petitioners to be wise in picking locations to petition. Whenever possible, strive for areas where you'll get the most exposure. In order for us to get a measure placed on the general ballot, we would be required to collect a minimum of 171,592 signatures from at least 6 of the 8 current gubernatorial districts. Not all districts require the same number of signatures. It's all based on the number of people who voted during the last presidential election. If we were to assemble the 6 districts with the smallest requirement, this is what they would look like. Of course, our hope would be to glean participation from the whole state. If you're not familiar with the current gubernatorial districts, most Missourians aren't, here they are. District 1 encompasses the city of St. Louis, the downtown and southeast portion of the city, along with a small portion of St. Louis County. District 2 is immediately below and includes portions of St. Louis, Jefferson, and St. Charles counties. District 3 includes counties in the central part of the state. District 4 takes in the west central part of Missouri, moving down the border with Kansas below Kansas City. District 5 encompasses the Missouri side of Kansas City and parts east. District 6 covers the entire northern portion of Missouri, touching on Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois. District 7 is located in the southwest corner of the state, touching the Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas borders. District 8 covers a large portion of the Missouri map, including the Boot Heel. The first thing that you should ask any and every potential signer is, are you registered to vote in Missouri? For all those whom you may encounter who are not registered to vote, it's always handy to have a tablet or laptop handy that can log into the Missouri Secretary of State's website, where they can quickly and easily get registered to vote online, and then be eligible to sign the Cannabis Restoration Initiative petition. It is at this point that you would retrieve either a blank petition sheet or one that is already started with the same county as the person wishing to sign lives. Before you can get started, it's absolutely imperative that you make sure that you have the right ballot initiative. Over the last 8 years, I've seen just about everything. I have tried to tell people that they need to come to a meeting and learn the proper way to petition and to see what the real petition looks like. But still, there are those who think they can figure it out on the fly. The fact is, if the petitioning isn't done correctly, it's just a big waste of time. We have to do it properly so that the Secretary of State's office can legally accept them. It's just the way it is. Having the correct ballot initiative is at the heart of it all. So how do you know? 3 things are dead giveaways. It would be good to follow along with a sample petition that you can mark accordingly. On the upper left portion of the signature sheet, it should list John R. Ashcroft, Secretary of State. Directly below that, you should find the date of the general election. It should say the 8th day of November, 2022. In the center, just above the signature portion, you should find the summary. The summary is written by the Secretary of State's office. We have little control over how it's worded, even when it's misleading, even when it's wrong, but it's required and must be on the signature page. You're going to hear me say it again and again. It's absolutely imperative that the petitions are filled out correctly. A county or signature written into the wrong blank can void the whole worksheet and along with it all its signatures. Also, always use either a blue or black ballpoint pen, never a felt tip or a fountain pen. They bleed if the page gets wet. Let's begin with the upper right-hand corner of the signature page. Always leave the page number blank. These will be filled in after the petitions have been turned in and are being counted and boxed. Here are the 4 places where you will fill in the county where those who sign this particular petition reside. Please note that the slot in the center of the sheet is left blank. Just to the right of that is where you will print the petitioner's name. Be aware of what goes in what blanks. It won't count if it's not done correctly. All blanks must be legible. Beginning from the far left, the signature, then the date signed, then the address. Please note no P.O. boxes will be accepted. Then the city. Next would be the district. If the signer doesn't know the district where he or she lives, it can be left blank and included later. Lastly, the slot where the signer will print his or her name. Always give direction. Hold the petition as you point to each blank, telling the signer what goes in each blank. It's all right to fill in these blanks as a courtesy, except of course for the signature. The rest of the petition will be filled out in your presence by the notary when you turn it in. This is important. Each petition sheet must be properly notarized. Your job isn't finished until it is. Remember, always use a black or blue ballpoint pen. Never fountain or felt pens. They bleed if they get wet. I've seen multiple petitions unusable because they were left in a car or on a counter to get wet, or in the back of a car window where they get bleached out by the sun. This is serious stuff. Take special care. Each petition sheet is for one county only. If a mistake is made, draw a single line through it and start on another line. You need to be able to see the mistake. Watch your spelling. You must witness every signature. This is really important. You are a legal representative of the Missouri Secretary of State. Also, always be kind, honest, and informative. As I related earlier, you must fill out the affidavit portion of the petition while the notary is watching you. It's the law. Don't assume that the notary will do their job correctly. Make sure that the notary fully completes and stamps each petition. You cannot sign or notarize your own petitions. Always listen and address the fears of those who are considering signing. Don't argue. Don't waste time with those who do. There are plenty of Missourians who would like to sign. Be seen. Go to events and stand outside public places to gather your signatures. Don't wait for people to approach you. Walk up to them and ask them if they would like to sign. Always be respectful, particularly to business owners. Explain to them that you are trying to get our initiative on the ballot so Missourians will have a choice. Ask them if it would be all right if you were to ask those entering and leaving their establishment if they would like to sign. Some businesses, like grow shops and dispensaries, may even allow you to set up a table inside. You won't know unless you ask. Always remember, you represent us all. Behave responsibly. What do you say? Hi, are you a registered voter in Missouri? Yes? Great. Would you like to sign my petition to bring real cannabis legalization to Missouri? You're not registered? Not a problem. I can help you get registered right now online. Here are some online resources: cannabisrestoration.org, reallegalizationmissouri.com, and cannabispatientnetwork.com. The 5 most important issues in cannabis reform. What about our children? Cannabis and DUI. The fallacy of baby steps in cannabis reform. Why removal from the CSL is so important. Amnesty and cannabis. All of these are accessible from the cannabispatientnetwork.com website.